Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Similarity. In this video, I will teach you about add SOP. So basically using this node, you can create new points, or if you already have some points, then you can connect them and form a curve. So this is the overall functionality of this node. And let's just see this node in action, and I will explain you about all the important options that this node has. Okay. So the first thing that we need is a grid here. Okay, so this is our grid, and let's add node here. So this is the add node. So the first thing that you see in this node is this option, points, polygons, and particles. So the first thing in the point tab you see is delete geometry but keep the point. So if you check this box here, so all the polygons will be deleted and you are only left with the points, right? So this is what this option does. I think this is a very great alternative if you want, if you want to create some initial points for pop or other DOP networks. So this is very useful functionality, and I use this many times in my workflow. See, you can also add other geometry also, like if you add a toy here. See, all the polygons are deleted and you are only left with points, right? Okay, so this is the first option that you see when you open this node. Also, just uncheck this and let me remove my grid here. Okay, so like I told you, using this node you can create new points, or you can say that you can add new points in the viewport. So we can do this by clicking plus here, and you can already see that we have a point added here, this point. Okay, point number 0. You can change the location of this point if you want. You can like type 5. So this point will move 5 units in the x-axis. You can type 5 here, right? So this is basically we are transforming this point using this options here, right? Also, you can add multiple points if you want, and you can change the location of them. See, right? So this is how we can add new points in the viewport using the add node. Also, you are seeing this W option here. Basically, this is the weight option. So by using this slider, you can assign a certain weight value to each of these points. We can also visualize that. Let me just do it like this: 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So that we can see all these points together. And now let's assign some weight value to this point. Let's assign this to 0 0.5, 0 0.4, 0 0.3, and 0 0.2. Then we can, you see, this PW attribute. This is basically point weight. So now point weight is assigned to each of these points, and we can visualize it here. You can see 0 0.5, 0 0.4, right? These are the values that we have used here. These are the weight values, but I have never used them. Basically, what I know from the documentation, these are the values used when you use the nubs curve. That's the case when you are basically using these weight values. So in my workflow, basically I'm a motion designer, so I don't really use this weight option here. But if you ever have a use case for this, please do let me know in the let me know in the comments, because I never really get to use these weight values ever. Okay, but this is how you assign them, right? Okay, so this is how we create new points using the add node, and we can assign them weight values, right? Then we can basically use clear here to remove all the points. Okay, So this is the first step, point step. Now let's move on to the second tab, which is actually a very interesting and very important tab here. Okay, so okay, so let me again add some points here. Let's add total 5 points, right? And we can move them 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so you can see also we can do something like this also if you want. One, sorry, we can, alternate point, we can move to 1 unit in y direction also. Let's move the 0.5 also in 1 unit up. Okay, so these are our points. Now we can add another add node, and let's clear this, then we can do polygon. Okay, so basically using this option here, we can connect these point and form a polygon if you want, or you can basically create a curve also using this tab here. Okay, so to connect these points or to form a polygon, we also have two options, by pattern and by group. Okay, let me repeat it again. If you have some points, then you can connect them to form a curve or to create a polygon. And for that, we have two different ways, using by pattern and then by group. So let's just see this first option, by pattern. So you can see we have these points 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can basically write something like this here, 0 space 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can see these points are now connected, right? So basically we have provided a pattern to this node, how to connect them. We can also change this pattern if you want. We can write something like this, 0, first connect 0 to 2, then connect 2 to 4, then connect 4 to 5, and then connect 5 to 3, then connect 3 to 1. And you can see that's how they are connected right now. So basically we can create a pattern here to connect these points, right? Also, if we have a very shortcut here also, we can simply write 0 to 0 dash 5. So all the points will be connected. We can directly write like this also if you want. Okay, this is also a way to write here, and we can connect all the points together. Okay, so this is how we can connect points by pattern. Now let's move on to this second option here, by group. So we can basically give it a group of points which we want to connect, and the order in which they are connected is the order in which basically is in the order of their point number. Okay, let me repeat it again. By using this by group option, we can connect all the points within that group, and the order in which they are connected is based on their point number, or you can say the order in which they are created. Okay, so right now we have left this field here empty. So basically this is connecting all the points, right? And we have this tab here, you can see all points. So all the points are connected, right? So let's go to this option, group of endpoints. So we can say here only connects point in a group of 2. Let me repeat it again. When you change this option to group of endpoints, then you can basically telling the Houdini to group them in a group of 2s, right? Or you can if a group of 3, right? So all the points in this group, only 3 points exist in this group. So these are connected. Then a new group will be formed of 3 points. Then all those points are also connected. Now let's say if I change this to 4 here. See, uh, one group of 4 points is created. So all these points are connected. But for the next group to form, only 2 points are left. So that's why only these 2 points are connected. Okay. Also, we can do it something like this. We change the n value to 5. So basically, group of 5 points are created, and all those points are connected right now, but one point is left, so it's left, right? No point is left for it to be connected, that's why it's left alone. So if something like this happen, you can check this option, remove unused point. Okay, I think it won't work in this case, because basically it is also a part of the group. So you can think of it like, basically it you are not seeing any connections here, because no other point is left, but it is part of this group, so that's why it is not an unused point. Okay, so we will see some other example also, and let's see if we have some unused point left. So basically we can use this checkbox to remove any unused point. Okay, okay, so let's see what our next option is. Our next option is escape every nth point. Okay, I will not explain this right now, I'll explain this after some time in this video only, and I'll explain why. Okay, let's see the other option, this by attribute. So don't worry, I will explain this also, because the reason is because there's no official documentation by Houdini for these two options. So I will explain this later in the video, but let's see this option, very important one, by attribute. So basically using this option here, by attribute, we can connect all the points which has a same attribute value. Okay, let me repeat it again. If we set the option here to by attribute, all the points which has same attribute value will be connected. Okay, so let's see a very awesome example for this one. Let's create a sphere here. Okay, now let's create a points from volume, and you can see this sphere is now filled with multiple points. Okay, now I don't want these many points, I want like 4 to 5 points only. So let's change the separation to 0.4, I think. Yeah, how many points? 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 points here. We can also change the jitter value here, so they are kind of in random position. Okay, now let's connect this to popnet. And now we go inside and change this to all points. And also okay, I think this is all good. Yeah, we can also add a wind parameter here, and let me change its amplitude to, I think this will work, I believe. Yeah, let's see what will happen. Okay, yeah, this is working fine. Now let's create an attribute for all those points. Okay, so we use attribute wrangle here, and let's create a point attribute called test, and give it some random value. Okay, so you see here now uh, each of these points, right, will have a random attribute with some random values. Sorry, I think I said it wrong. Now each of these point will have a test attribute with some random values, right? This point here is a test attribute value of 0.26, and this has a value of 0.002 something. So each of this point will have a some has a test attribute with some random values, right? So these are the initial point from which we are basically generating new points using the pop network here, right? So if we generate new points, what you're seeing here now, as we know, the new points are generating from the initial points that we have created, and the initial points has a test attribute with some random values. So the new points which are generated using this pop source here will have the same test attribute value as the initial point, right? The point which we have uh, given this attribute test attribute here, right? So you can also see here these new point which are generated will have the same value, right? These values are all same 0.26, 0.26, 0.26, right? So like I told you, basically using this add node we can connect those point which has the same attribute value. So we can go here by group by attribute, and now we can give that attribute here test. Let me do it here, and also let me uh, turn off my visualization here. Okay, now let it play, and you can see, yeah, this is very cool effect, right? Let me improve this so it looks more better. We can do remesh here. Sorry, not remesh, resample. Yeah, I think this will work. And now let's smooth it out. Okay, now let's see. And you can see a very cool effect, right? Also, if you want, you can change your initial point count to something, I think, like this, so that you have more points within the sphere. And now let's see what will happen. Yeah. Yeah, so this is something you can create. But the core idea behind this is if we set the option here to by attribute, then all the points which has same attribute value will get connected. And initially we have created these points inside the sphere, give them an attribute test with some value. Then from those points we have generated new points, and those new points will have the same attribute values, right? From which they are generated. And then we add a add node here and select the option by attribute. Then all the point which has the same test attribute value will get connected. So this is what is happening in this whole workflow. And basically we have smoothed the curve here to give it a more better look, right? Okay, so this is our option by attribute. Okay, now let's get to this other option, skip every endpoint and each group separately. So basically there's no official documentation by Houdini about these two options. So this is something I am going to tell you from my observation and from my experience how this option works. So if there's something wrong, please do let me know in the comment. So I would be very happy to know about that, because literally I have when I first came to know about this option, I have searched everywhere and no data is available. So this is something I know by my observation and my experience. Okay, so please bear with me. Okay, so if I set this option to skip every endpoint, okay, but for that we need another kind of setup. Let's create a grid here, and let me change the row count, column count 50. I think this will, I think 10 also work. Okay, now let's add a add node here, and we can delete the geometry because we only want the points, right, from point 0 to 99. So basically we have total 100 points here. Now let's add another add node here, Also, uh, there's something I need to tell you. See, we have deleted all the geometry here. So if you want, you can within the same add node, you can also add them again. This is also possible, but I don't do this because I want to keep this very clean, my whole setup. So that's why I've created two add nodes. So I think let me go here. Okay. So basically, I use the first add node to clear all the geometry, only the points are left. And then in the second add node, I basically create all the connections and everything. Okay, so just to keep my network very clear. So if you go to by group here and skip every endpoint, I know. See, just reading this option, skip every nth point. What you think? You must be thinking like, if I set the value of n to 2, then every second point will be skipped and the connections are made between the first and the third point, right? This is what you're thinking. But let me tell you, this is very wrong. This is not how this option works. So let me show you in Photoshop how this option basically works. Okay. So let's say we have this points here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right? 3, 3, 6, 3, 9, 10. Okay. Then what we can do, we can basically duplicate them. Okay. Yeah, I think this will work. Right. So these are our points, right? And if we set the value of n to, let's say, 3. Okay. So what your initial thought must be, you must be thinking like, this is point 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. In that order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9, then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to 20. Okay. Then from 21 to 30. Right. So you must be thinking like, this is a point 0. Then we must skip these 3 points. And then from this point number 4, sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or for point number 5, then we can basically connect these 2 points directly, right? That must be your initial thought, but this is not how it works. Okay. So if we set the value of n is equal to 3, then what Houdini will do, basically, it will select these starting 3 points, initial 3 points, point number 0, 1, and 2, as an uh, starting points to generate new curves. Okay, let me repeat it again. If we set the value of n is equal to 3, then Houdini will select these starting 3 point uh, as new as a start point to generate curves. Okay, so if you have n is equal to 3, then basically 3 new curves will be created with starting point number 1, sorry, 0, 1, and 2. Okay, let me repeat it again. If you set the value of n is equal to 3, then total 3 different curves will be created starting from point number 0, 1, and 2. Okay, I think this much you understand, right? Okay, now we know if you set the value of n is equal to 3, then total 3 different curves will be created starting from point number 0, 1, and 2. But now again, what's with the skipping, right? Why then Houdini says we have to skip these many points? So here skipping means, uh, if value of n is equal to 3, then let's talk about the first curve, okay, that this will create starting from point number 0. So if we start from point number 0, then including the point number 0, we have to skip 3 points, then 0, 1, and 2. Then which point will be left? This point number 4, right? The next point will be point number 4. Then directly connect point number 0 to 4. Then again starting from point number 4, we have to skip 3 points: 4, 5, and 6. Okay, then these 3 points will be skipped. Then directly connect point number 4 to this point, which will be seventh point. Okay, so for the first curve we get this, these 2 points will be skipped. Then there will be this connection. then these 2 points will be skipped, then this. So basically point number 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, point number 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So these 3 points will be connected. Similarly, after 6, 6, 7, 8, then point number 9. So this is the first curve. Then after 9, 9, 10, 11, then point will be directly connected to 9, 10, 11, this point here, point number 12. So something like this. So that's how connection will be made for the first curve, which is starting from the point number 0. Then for the second curve, which is starting from the point number 1, same thing will happen. So if we start from the point number 1, this basically this point. So this is the first point. Then we have to skip 3 points because our n is 3. So 1, 2 and 3. These points will be skipped and directly connection will be made to the fourth point, right? Then 4, 5, 6. Then connection will be made to seventh point. Then 7, 8, 9. Then connection will be made to the 10th point, right? Like this. Then 10, 11, 12. Connection will be made to the point number 13. So that's how this works, right? So then again, for the next point number 2, for the third curve, we will start from the point number 2. Okay. So that's how this works. This whole skipping endpoint option works. But I know this is very confusing. I think that's why Houdini has not given any documentation. So I have to figure it on my own. And if you think there's some other logic, please do let me know in the comment. But this is something I observed. That's how this works. And I'll show you also. I will show this in the Houdini also. But I think you get the logic. If you set the value of n is equal to 3, then Houdini will select these starting 3 points as a reference to to start new curves. And from these 3 points, new curves will be formed. Total 3 curves will be there because n is equal to 3, right? And we have n is equal to 3, so we have 3 points skipped for each of these curve. Okay, so now let's just see this in Houdini. I have already created a setup here for you. Okay, so you see this is our grid here, same grid. Okay, and then we have removed the polygons, delete geometry, but keep the points. Okay, then again we have this option here, skip every nth point, so we can set this to 3. So now you see here, this is looking very weird, right? So just for the sake of brevity, I have separate all those all the curves that have informed using this setup here. Basically, I have done nothing. I just created a connectivity because like I told you, if you set the value of n is equal to 3, total 3 different curves will be formed, and you can see here also. See, total primitives 3. These are the 3 curves that has informed. We can separate them using the connectivity node. Basically, a connectivity node gives a class attribute to each a different class attribute, or you can say a unique class attribute to each primitive. So you can see we have a class attribute here. So total 3 different class attribute values we have. You can see here also. See 0, 1 and 2. Then I promoted that class attribute from primitive to point, and then inside the wrangle I have created this expression to separate those curves, to move them apart. Okay, so you can see here, like I told you, we have set the value of n is equal to 3. Then starting initial 3 points will be selected as an start point for the new curve. So point number 0, point number 1, point number 2. Okay, so starting from point number 0, we have this whole curve here. Starting from point number 1, we have this curve here. Starting from point number 2, we have this curve here. And then, like I told you, if the value of n is equal to 3, then 3 points are skipped. So 0, 1 and 2. Then connection will be directly made to the point number 3, 0 and 3. Then starting from the point number 3, 3, 4 and 5. These 3 points will be skipped, and connection will be directly from between the point number 3 and point number 6. And this is what is happening in other curves also, right? Okay, so I will also provide you this file so you can take a better look if you want. In the description, I will give you the link of this file here. Okay. Okay, so this is the this one of the option is give every endpoint. Now let's move on to the second option here, each group separately. Also, there's no documentation for this option also from Houdini. So this is also, like I told you, from my observation and from my experience. Okay, so if we change the option to each group separately here, then what will happen? Okay, so let's say this is our grid here. Okay, now we have basically uh, removed the geometry and keep the points. Now let's create a group expression here. Now let's create a group 1 with the value this. Okay, x coordinate less than 1. Sorry, minus 1. Okay, change this to points. Okay, so these are the points in the group number 1. These points has coordinate value less than minus 1. Okay, and now let's create another group here, group number 2 uh, with position greater than 1. Okay, I think here this is group number 1, this is group number 2. I think we want these options here. So what we have to do? Okay, sorry, yeah, here we have to change this to greater than 1. Yeah, so you can see these are the point in group number 2, these are the point in group number 1. Okay, so basically using this node, what we can do, if we set this to each group separately, so what we can do is we can connect them separately, like the options. So if you set this to group number 1, you can see only the points in the group number 1 is connected. But if you add other group also, see the points in the group number 2 is also connected. So basically we can connect them using the different groups here within the same geometry. So you must be thinking we can create a group like this also if you want. That must also work. We can create something like this if we go uh, bounding regions. Okay, now create another group. Okay, first let me do this to points. Okay, change this to points and let's call this group number 2, and let's move it here. Okay, now let's merge them, and what you can see, we have this, right? Group number 1, group number 2. Now let's put this here and see what will happen. Okay, so now we have a point from the group number 1 is connected, and now if we group here, point from the group number 2 is also connected. Okay, so this is also another way to do this. Apart from group expression, this is also something you can do. So I think this is the functionality for this option, each group separately. But if you know another way to use this option, please do let me know in the comment, because there's no, again I'm telling you, no official documentation from the Houdini. Okay, so I think these are all the options that we have here. Also I think okay, yeah, one thing is left. Okay, so this close option here, let me tell you about it, how this works. Okay, so I think this will be a better example for that. Okay, now let's go this add node, and we can basically form connections here. Okay, so these are our connections, right? 0, 2, 4, 5, 3, and 1. So basically we have connected point number 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 3, and 3 to 1. Okay, then you see this closed option here. Basically this is the same option that you have here. They do the same thing. Basically they closes the curve. Okay, so if I check this here, you can see we have formed a polygon here. Okay, so this is the last thing that I want to teach you about this node. Okay, sorry, about this tab here, polygon by group. Okay, now let's move on to this next tab here, particles. So basically what this option here does, we can see we have these points here, so we can create a particle system using this option. So if you check this here, you can see we have new particle system added, particle system 1, and then we can use this particle system in some DOP network. But let me tell you, from my experience, or even if you search anywhere on the internet or ask some other senior TDs or a guy if you know who knows Houdini, this is something never really used. This is this is something used in very older versions of Houdini. Right now, if you want a particle system, or sorry, if you want to create a particle group of particles to be used in the DOPNet, you can basically, there are other methods like you see here uh, in the sphere example. Basically, we have created points inside the sphere and simply put them inside the pop net and use them as a initial geometry to create new points. See, we don't need to create a particle system for the DOPNet using this option here. So this is something I never really used, and I also believe that you won't either using this ever in your life, this particle system. So this is, I think this is for this tab, particles tab. This is the only information that I can provide you. Basically, this option here, add these particles, create a new particle system from the existing point, and you can use those particle system in your DOPNet. Okay, but do let me know if you ever get a chance to use this system here. Okay, so I think this is it for this node, and I believe this tutorial is lengthy one. I thought I will create a very short video for this node, but due to all these example, it runs very long. So sorry for that. I will try to keep my future videos short. Okay. So if you do like this video, please like and subscribe my channel. I really feel motivated when you do that. And if you have any doubt, please do ask me in the comment section. Okay. Okay. So this is it for this video. Thank you. Thank you for watching my video. Bye.